Hey, how's it going? Today I thought I'd take you through my FBA journey so far, from when I first found out about Amazon FBA until when I expect to start selling my first product in April. Okay, so this is my FBA journey. Early November was when I first began researching about Amazon FBA. I think I'd found out about the business model 2 or 3 weeks earlier, but early November roughly was when I first decided this was something I wanted to do. And I basically started learning as much as I could about the business model from YouTube videos, the Jungle Scout University, and I began product research at this point as well. By the end of November, I had found my first product. I contacted suppliers, ordered samples, and chose a supplier. December 16th was when I agreed a price with the supplier I chose, and I actually placed the initial 30% deposit at this time. But this was probably one of the first mistakes I made, is I didn't need to wait 2 weeks between the end of November and mid-December to place the deposit. And because of this, and because of not knowing about a thing called Chinese New Year, this caused a pretty big issue in that, well, they didn't actually receive the payment for the deposit. And this was just unfortunate, really. What happened was I was using Alibaba Trade Assurance, and they give you the bank details on their website, but for whatever reason they gave me the wrong bank to send the money to. So the supplier had 2 different bank accounts, one in a UK account and one in their in Singapore maybe, and for whatever reason it showed me the wrong account that they wanted the money sent into, so I ended up sending dollars to the UK account and they couldn't receive it. So basically until early January, the deposit was in limbo, and I didn't really know what was going to happen with it. You know, I was pretty certain because I'd used Trade Assurance, the money was just with them, and I just had to wait to get it back. But it was a real pain, and it was about this time when I found out about Chinese New Year, and they said it's going to be an extra month or maybe even 6 weeks to get the product produced. So obviously that was a bit frustrating, but in a way it was a good learning experience, and I think it's something you have to go through when starting in this business. Like, there's going to be certain things you'll learn probably the hard way, but hopefully you can learn from my mistake instead. January the 4th was when I received the refund for the deposit. So obviously that was really, great news, and straight away just remade the payment to the correct bank account this time, and they received it almost immediately, and were able to begin production. January 7th, I went to Thailand and met with some 6- and 7-figure FBA sellers. I basically went to just spend some time starting this business and doing just nothing but product research most days. And yeah, I learned a lot from a lot of people that do FBA. So I'll definitely make a video on some of the things that they told me. There was one guy who did 2 million, I think. He mainly sells in the US though, but he's basically told me his whole strategy, and there's a lot I can go into with that, so I'll probably make a whole video on that. But I was doing about 8+ hours of product research every day. Even though I'd found my first product, I'm so set on this business that I just wanted to find more and more products. So I probably found 3 or 4 potential ones, but I didn't end up pursuing them. March 15th, so this is in the future now. Production should be complete. That is the date that they've said they'll be done by. I'll get an inspection done, and I'll have the units sent. I'm not certain yet whether I'm going to do air or sea shipping. It's sort of on the boundary for air shipping, so I might do like half and half, or I'll contact a freight forwarder at some point, and they basically just handle all the shipping, and they know best. So I'll do a video on that when time comes to that. April 1st is when I'm hoping to have my products land in the Amazon warehouse, and I'm going to be launching it with Viral Launch. I'm going to do a launch with them, and I'm also going to be using PPC and having friends and family potentially buy them. I'll do a whole video on my launch strategy and what my plan is to get them selling. So a little bit about the product. It's product in the home and kitchen niche. I think it's probably the biggest niche on Amazon in terms of sales. So, it's really a strong niche to go into. I'm ordering 1,000 units. I'm bundling it with another item It's just a logical thing to include with it. It's nothing groundbreaking. In fact, since I've first found out about this, another product has come on and bundled it with the exact same thing, which is another reason why you really want to get your product selling as soon as you find it, really. But I'm also going to be creating an ebook and hopefully some video tutorials using it. So that's how I'm planning on differentiating it. In hindsight, I could have done a bit more to differentiate it, but hopefully it should be enough to get it selling. So the unit price is $4.50 or $3.50. So my plan is to be selling it around £22. So that should be giving me a £9.29 profit margin, profit with a 40% profit margin after all costs. So VAT, duties, PPC, maybe the launch as well. Basically, once, especially on like the second order, should be hoping for around a 40% profit margin. So quite strong. So I just thought I'd go through some of the lessons I've learned in the 3 or 4 months that I've been doing this, because I feel like there's a few things that I've really come to appreciate that I didn't really know at the start of going down this business. The first thing is just be patient. Like finding a product, the sample, the designs, the manufacturing, the shipping, it all takes time, and you're really looking at 2 months minimum to get a product sourced and to do everything you need to do. So have other things you're doing. Don't just focus on waiting for your product to get arrived and selling. Focus on like I say, accumulating capital, whether that be working or doing some retail arbitrage or just something on the side to start building up money to help with cash flow, basically. So like PPC, or even starting another product. Do product research if you've got the funds to do another product. Be looking for another product, because there's no point just sitting around for 2 months, waiting for it. Okay, next up is treat mistakes as lessons. I think this is a huge one. At the end of the day, you're starting a business. No successful business has not made a single mistake. So don't beat yourself up too hard about it. So like I say, the banking mistake taught me to triple check payment info. Definitely just check, with your supply, is this right? Just work with them, The reality is they're probably not trying to scam you. So just make sure with them what you're doing is right. I wanted to give the impression that I was like this big FBA seller at first. That probably wasn't the best approach. I could have been a bit more honest with them and be could have just asked for a bit more help. So there's a lot of things I could have done, but anyway, I'm glad I learned that lesson now instead of in the future placing a much larger order. So that sort of leads into the next point, is find your why first. You really need a reason as to why you're doing this, because it's not easy. I know a lot of gurus might make it seem like an easy sort of business to make money in, and you just sort of flick a switch and you're making money. It really isn't like that. There are going to be countless hours you're going to be spending doing product research, not finding anything and sort of wondering, why the hell am I doing this? So figure out your why, basically. What is it that you're trying to get from starting this business? Do you want the freedom it can provide? Do you want to become a millionaire? Do you want to support your family? Just decide on a reason. Okay, the 4th and final lesson is don't hesitate. If you find a good opportunity and you do all your due diligence and you still think it's a good opportunity, then don't hesitate to get the ball rolling. This kind of business is reliant on taking action and not just, being on the sidelines and watching other people do it. If you find a good opportunity, likelihood is many other people have seen it too and have got the exact same idea. And the person who's going to do well with it is the one who actually takes action, contacts suppliers, and gets the ball rolling, essentially. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully that's been helpful in understanding the process of starting an Amazon FBA private label business, or at the very least, just been a bit of insight into my journey, my experience so far. So if you're interested in following my journey, please be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be posting loads of videos on how I plan to launch it, how it goes, keeping you updated with it basically, and anything FBA related. So yeah, please be sure to subscribe. Let me know what videos you want to see, anything business, entrepreneurship, FBA related. I'd be happy to do something on it. Whatever really, just drop a comment, let me know what you think, and thanks.